Morning, everyone. This is David giving you my review on chapter 863, The Consummate Gentleman. Now, I will say personally, I love this chapter. I really love this chapter. And it proves a lot of people right that Big Mom is kind of in a lot of trouble at the moment. So a great chapter. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. You never mind. 5. Sorry, 5. Um, so you basically start off with Straw Hat Luffy telling Capone his personal plans on the wedding. Basically, his grand entrance into the, the the wedding. Okay, so you basically have him talking about basically putting a mirror inside the wedding cake, and destroying the cake. And Brulee's freaking out because she knows how much Mama loves the cake, and Capone's kind of like, that it's gonna be something. Um, and then Luffy remembers what Brulee did, where how she made copies of Nami and others and totally messed with Straw Hats in the forest. So he's going to use that to his advantage when he comes out of the cake. And obviously, the Big Mom Pirates are going to know Brulee had something to do with this. And he catches a ton of forest animals just to specifically throw, like, just to cause mass craziness, which is what everyone basically said happened specifically. That Luffy basically had like all these clones of him as mirrors using Brulee's power, so everyone was right. Okay, and he comes out of the cake, and it causes mass hysteria. And one person's super excited. Big news, Morgan. He's looking at this saying, "Oh my god, this is huge news." And he's salivating at being able to send out the story of this whole fiasco at Big Mama's wedding. So it's awesome. And now everyone also said Sanji was going to be the hero, and he's going to help Pudding in a very quick panel get off the cake from the explosion that Luffy caused. And the entire time, all of Big Mom's subordinates, other than Katakuri, just sit there and do nothing, which is amazing. They're like wondering, they're like saying, he didn't die? He was lying? They're talking about Opera, of course, because Opera was trying to save his own skin, and they're basically probably figuring out how to avoid any more fiasco, because it's insane. And, what's even surprising is Luffy comes out and admits which one is the real Luffy during the mass exodus of the cake. And like I said earlier, Big Mom was going to go nuts and go crazy. She had her food pains and killed a bunch of cooks, stealing their life. Okay? It was... And I feel bad about those poor cooks, but I mean, they were fodder. And I mean, she was demanding another cake. So, and Also, remember, Big News is there, and he's looking at seeing the stealing of the cook's souls. So he's calling it Big News again. So once basically all the Luffys get out of the mirror, because there's a ton of animals, okay? Jimbei and Jimbei and several of the other members that are there, um, like Pedro, go and launch themselves out of the mirror and start wreaking havoc. Nami, Brook, Chopper, and Carrot all jump out of the mirror, and that leaves basically our good friend Senor Gastino alone in the mirror, with them calling him, saying he's such a bad person, he's the worst. And the poor guy's crying, so I think he's having a watershed moment. Probably maybe getting sick and tired of being called horrible, and we'll see what happens, okay? And during this whole thing, Big Mom remembers Luffy and wants to basically, from Fishman Island, knows that he's picking a fight with her and wants to take her out, and she wants to take him out because he's pissed her off royally. Especially for the fact that he destroyed her wedding cake. And I'll say this. Capone, I love the point where he basically gave hats off to him, because he basically said, who would ever go with a chaos causing plan like this and dare to come out head on like this? And he becomes even more stunned when basically Luffy admits that it's real, like it's him. Like that face that he made during that just says enough that he's like, oh my god, I can't believe he fucked this up for me. And obviously his men are getting ready to shoot Big Mom with the rockets, which is going to happen. Now, Katakuri pissed off Big Mom a little bit by stealing her thunder and kicking Luffy with his special devil fruit power. And he gets stuck on her. It's the devil fruit again. Mochi Mochi no Mi, sorry. I was trying to think of what it was. I apologize. And he senses ahead of time that Luffy is about to destroy her picture, which no one is supposed to know about it except Big Mom's family. But he sees it. And Big Mom is kind of stunned that he knew about it. And at that point, as soon as Luffy gets caught by basically Katakuri in his kick, Luffy gets saved by Jimbei, who uses his water powers to get him unstuck. And comes down and basically says I'm the one who told Luffy about Mother Caramel, saving Capone for his later unveiling of being a traitor as well. So he's forestalling Capone's big entrance into the quitting. And he has this epic moment where he's basically saying he's quitting, he's mutinying, and he's joining the Straw Hats. Which Luffy's excited for because he's wanted Jinbei on his crew. And again, big news is coming out saying this is big news. Former Shichibukai Jinbei is joining the Straw Hats, which he's going to be writing story after story after story about this cake, about this event, and it's going to be insanity for the Reverie with whatever comes out of this. And he basically offers his own life. As much as life as Big Mom wants to take to join Luffy's crew. And makes a awesome statement that there's no way a man that intends to join the future pirate king will cower at a mere Yonko. And Big Mom can't take his soul and life. And puts out a cup of sake, basically showing his departure. So this chapter was about Jinbei and Jinbei leaving the Big Mom Pirates. And in the final panel of the picture, you have Brooke, who's being Brooke, kind of in a weird little Luffy costume, hiding from who it was. He destroys Mother Caramel's picture with a hammer. So that is the end of the chapter, okay? So the many theories became clear with this. There was a theory that Big Mom can't steal the souls of anyone who's not afraid of her. So right now, that's huge because that depowers Big Mom's greatest strength. And the Straw Hats have seen this, so she can't do it. She's not going to be able to use it on them. So she's going to have to fight a normal fight and not use her Devil Fruit powers, which is great. Katakuri also lost some of his capabilities in the sense that now Jinbei can counter him using water and fight him specifically. So Jinbei is going to be fighting against Katakuri because it goes counter against specifically Katakuri's ability. And we'll see who else joins in again with Jinbei on Katakuri, because I think that's what's going to happen. And Luffy is going to get the bull rush of Big Mom very shortly. Probably right after Capone launches his attack, because that's the very next chapter. Capone will launch his attack on Big Mom. It'll probably be a chapter on Capone's mutiny, which Big News Morgan will say, "This is news!" which is awesome. Oh, I'm loving Big News in this chapter. This is awesome. And so you have the two top leaders of the Big Mom Pirates have some of their powers get exposed. Big Mom's ultimate weapon and the weakness for Commander Dogtooth. And even specifically her family is seeing specifically that, if you actually are going to go against Big Mom, because they're surprised that his soul's not coming out during this whole little thing. So they might actually be a little bit more emboldened to rebel, because there's going to be some of them that absolutely were staying with her because of how bad, basically out of fear. She ruled by fear. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter. It makes the most sense for Mother Caramel's picture to be the last panel of this specific chapter, because that sets up the next chapter as far as the aftermath of the picture being smashed. And in this, there were two great MVPs of the Straw Hat Crew. Number one, Jimbei, for being so badass and so cool, and basically being... he's epic. He just had an epic moment and showing why so classy, and at the same point, so this was a great moment. And then Brooke, I mean, he's ultimately been the real MVP of Big Mom's, this Big Mom arc. He's stolen the poneglyphs. He's basically destroyed Mother Caramel's picture. He fought Big Mom. And even in the weakened state, he ended up sleeping with Big Mom. So, I mean, Brooke is a monster in terms of what he's done in this arc. Like, from a funny standpoint, from a action standpoint, he is essentially the MVP of this arc. As far as getting shit done. And he did it while all of Big Mom's major generals are doing nothing other than Katakuri, and Katakuri's already busy dealing with so many other things. So you have so many Straw Hats, and you have the mass confusion of all like these little animals, because everyone knows, oh, it's Brule, of course. So there's going to be the thought of Brule's a traitor now. I guarantee you there's a thought of Brule's a traitor. And then Opera basically signed his death warrant during this whole situation. So we're going to see what happens in the next chapter. I'm thrilled with what they've done. And I guarantee Luffy's about to punch Big Mom, or Capone's about to launch his attack on Big Mom, especially considering that Big Mom is about to attack Jimbei. So we will see what happens. Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. This has been a great chapter, and I'm looking forward to 864, because this was the climax of the arc. And as you know, with any story, now it's the ascending action period, because this was the climax. The climax was basically Big Mom having Mother Caramel's picture get destroyed, and we're about to find out in a little bit what happens when Mother Caramel's picture actually breaks. Either this might be a huge weakness in depowering a Big Mom. We will see. Okay? So, next chapter, 864, is going to be epic as far as figuring out what happens, and I'm looking forward to all the speculation as far as what's going to happen in the future. But we all know Capone's about to launch his attack. and make everyone even more like, whoa, more people are betraying Big Mom. Is he joining Luffy too? As far as Big News Morgan, he's probably gonna come out and accuse now that Jinbei's betrayed Big Mom, that Capone is joining Big Mom, joining Luffy, and that will be funny. Okay, so I'd love everyone to watch this video, subscribe, and basically give me thoughts and their opinions of this video. So, thank you very much. Okay?